Hello, ladies. I'm Grace, and today we'll be discussing intimacy and how intimacy is not just sex, but when intimacy is done right, it actually becomes every good thing about sex. But today is not about sex. Today's actually about emotional intimacy and how you can obtain it and have it in the way you want it so that it translates directly to the sex that you desire and the sex that you need and the sex that you want. Because let's be honest, this is YouTube, so I'll keep it cute. You entered the 100-meter race, right? And there's a huge possibility that you win the race. As a matter of fact, you did win the race, but you never did your warm-up. So what happens after you win your race? Your ligaments tell you that you didn't do your warm-up. Your muscles tell you that you didn't do your warm-up. Everything in you tells you that you didn't do your warm-up. Your body's like, why didn't you warm me up? So you thought that you was just gonna go run that race, and you won the race. Congratulations to you. But now you're paying for it because you didn't do the warm-up. So when are you gonna prioritize yourself and start doing your warm-ups? Your warm-up starts with emotional intimacy. You deserve to do your warm-up. Your body's telling you after every time you win that race that you didn't warm me up. The foundation, the emotional intimacy is, forget about cracked. It's shaky. It's not what it's supposed to be. Your legs were not as sturdy as they should have been. You did not stretch your muscles properly before you hit the 100-meter race. So you won the race, yes you did. Kudos to you. And then after you win the race, you feel like crap because you didn't do your warm-up, because you're skipping steps. And then you think that the feeling of winning the race is going to propel you and last you. How long that feeling of winning the race lasts? It don't last too long. Once your body reminds you, once your whole self reminds you, where was the warm-up? You actually taxed your body more than you thought you did because you wanted to skip your warm-up. So we're not skipping warm-ups anymore. We're solidifying emotional intimacy so that it's a direct translation into your 100-meter race. And then your 100-meter race, you win the race. And then after you win the race, you can really dwell in your win because you did your warm-up properly. So, emotional intimacy can apply to any relationship, but for the sake of this and what we do over here, we're applying it today to your romantic relationship with your partner, with your man. The intimacy that is built and sustained through increments so that it's long-lasting and that vulnerability is at its highest form within your physical intimacy. You will usually only be vulnerable with your man if you have seen him protect smaller portions of your vulnerability. So let's say you go ahead and you tell your partner something that's non-threatening, right? Maybe a fear or a preference of something. And you notice that he didn't mock you about it. He didn't laugh at you for it. He actually honored it. He listened to you. He, was non-judgmental about what you said. Then this begins to resonate within you. And you begin to understand that this is somebody who can hold space for you. This is somebody who will honor you. So then gradually you go on to give him bigger, more heavier vulnerabilities about you. And you keep noticing that he's respecting you, he's honoring you, he's not mocking you, he's not making fun of you for it. And so naturally, within increments, you begin to feel more comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable. When this vulnerability grows, it is the foundation for emotional intimacy. Because within the vulnerability, then comes the trust. And then at the height of that would be the emotional intimacy. that you need to attain. You feel more comfortable when you're allowing him to see who you are in your rawest form, and you know that you're not being judged for it, and you know that he is truly accepting you for who you are. And with that, you begin to let your guard down. You begin to let your guard down, and you become reassured that you are enough. So as your guard comes down, your safety and your trust is being up-leveled. The more your guard comes down, the more your safety and your trust is being up-leveled. And this is intentionally allowing you to grow with your partner, knowing that even when you are not your best, when you're at your worst, through good, bad, and ugly, that your partner is still your partner, and that he has gained your trust. You just did not throw it to him or give it to him to hold. Indeed, he's gained it through, again, small increments. Sometimes you're not resistant to being vulnerable, but you're resistant because you know that the man that you're with, you cannot be vulnerable with. You know that you can't gain weight in peace. You know you can't lose weight in peace. Sis, please don't lose your edges. You know you cannot. Oh, girl, don't go ahead and get sick. You know that this is not a man that you can be vulnerable with. So when you know that this is not a man that you can be vulnerable with, what do? You protect yourself from being disappointed. And so you don't even open the jar of vulnerability to begin with. And then you want to go hit the track and win the 100-meter race with somebody who you know you can't be vulnerable with. And then you expect, after you win the 100-meter race, for things to be what? Blissful? No, they won't be. Because again, you have skipped steps. And when you skip steps, the prize don't hit the same. It just doesn't. This is sometimes, most of the time, see, there's two conversations here. You can be vulnerable with someone who respects you enough and who honors you enough and who deserves your vulnerability. But you cannot be vulnerable with somebody who, they don't honor you, they don't respect you, they really don't care about you as far as you benefit them. And so, again, to protect yourself from disappointment and to protect yourself from opening a can of worms, you don't even start the idea of vulnerability with this man. But then you're running a 100-meter race with this man, and he's the person that you're passing the baton to, and you expect to win the race with somebody who you can't even lose weight in peace with, gain weight in peace with, lose your edges, and won't get criticized or even seen for it. First things first, groundwork needs to be covered. So maybe you need to take an audit and an inventory of the person who you're doing your 100-meter race with. Is he a worthy partner? Is he worth passing your baton to? In this scene, in this scenario, the egg definitely came before the chicken. And if it's a rotten egg, then you shouldn't even want the chicken. And maybe you don't know how to get rid of the chicken. You don't know how to get rid of this partner. You're too invested with this person. And that is another conversation for another day. But back to emotional intimacy and how it is so important and how it is a pillar. Intimacy is a pillar. And then I break intimacy is a pillar within the Safe Mommy, Safe Baby framework, within my initiative. But within intimacy, I break intimacy up to emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. And within emotional intimacy, you have you have things that combine that make up emotional intimacy. And for physical intimacy, you have things that combine that make up physical intimacy. But emotional intimacy and physical intimacy, they go hand in hand, but they don't always have to coexist. I would love for you to trust yourself around the man that you're with. I would love for you to be vulnerable with the man that you're with. I would love for you to be able to be your raw, authentic self, good, bad, and ugly, with the man that you are with. And know that he is with you for who you are, and he sees the best in you, and he strives to help you be your better self at all times of your life. A man that you know isn't going to leave you because you became ill. A man that you know isn't going to leave you because you became a shell of yourself. Life happens. Life does happen. And because life happens doesn't mean that you deserve to, because you're not at your best, doesn't mean that you deserve in no shape or form to be not considered. You deserve to be considered with the person who you are sharing your body with. If this is your partner, you deserve to be considered in all aspects at all times. That is what he is there for. So we spoke about emotional intimacy being shared between you and your partner, and how with the sake of emotional intimacy and trust, it builds a deeper connection, and you can have rest assured, developing emotional resistance, compatibility, openness, not only that you want, but you deserve. You deserve it. You should have it. And don't ever convince yourself that you shouldn't have it, or that the person that you're with doesn't have that capacity for you, because they should. That is their job. When you have emotional intimacy, true emotional intimacy that's shared between you and your partner, you will begin to break the negative emotional cycles. Excuse me. And instead, you'll go on to share joy within your intentional parenting. If you do choose to have, considering that you choose, this is a partner who you want to reproduce with, you guys will go on to have intentional parenting and create a positive family legacy for your children to see and to live in, which will be a supportive emotional family dynamic. You already know how to create a deep emotional bond, so it'll be second nature for you to have this deep emotional bond with your children moving forward. And then you'll provide them with guidance on how they too can move on to cultivate emotional connections in their life. You'll provide them with a safe, nurturing home that you can just feel the essence of healthy emotional intimacy within your home. So please comment below. I'd love to hear what is some emotional practices that you would love to make a staple in your home? Would it be that your family sits around the table and everybody discusses something that's on their heart? Or would it be that you leave space for your children to express themselves and their hurt or disappointment when it arises? Would it be that in your home, you guys don't go to bed mad at one another? Would it be that you have maybe a threshold of time when there is miscommunication that you guys must, settle things? Would it be that you must greet when you come into the home? Would it be that maybe you say the words, "I love you," after every phone call? What is something that you would love to initiate and have as a staple in your home that you know would build emotional connection that will go beyond any misconception that your children would always be able to relate back to? See, this is Safe Mommy, Safe Baby. And here I support women who are survivors of family sexual abuse or incest. And I support you to overcome the emotional barriers that come with this lifestyle or thing that has happened to you in your life, rather. And when you overcome these emotional barriers, your personal emotional barriers, and you master your emotions, you go on to become the confident mother that you always knew that you wanted to be. No more negative emotional barriers, no more. Instead, a new emotional legacy for you and your family to thrive off of. So comment below and share what is one thing. I'd love to hear it. And thanks for watching.